Hey everybody, welcome to Staring Down the Darkness. I'm Danny. I just wanted to put a little video out and talk about my weekend, this past weekend, how I was feeling, and kind of give you guys a little insight on sometimes what it's like. So if you remember a couple of videos ago, I talked about when you start to feel depression coming on, having a little money set aside to go do something that you like to do, to try to bring you out of it. Music is a big part of my life. It always has been. I'm a music nerd from way back. I used to run a music store. I've got thousands of CDs and records and tapes, and so music has always been one of my outlets. It's always been a way that I can decompress, or music has always been therapy for me. So during this past week, started feeling down a little bit, so I got tickets for a concert and went to a concert with some family members, and had a really good time. It was a good show. Between the opening act and the band themselves, it was about a 3-hour show, and really had a good time. It brought me back up. I was feeling good. Friday night, went to bed and felt a lot better about things. However, sometimes that doesn't always last. When I woke up the next day, I just, again, was feeling down. Started feeling a little tired, and was feeling it was really hard to focus, really hard to get excited about anything, hard to make myself move. I got out of bed, and I spent a good part of the day just kind of sitting around, not doing a whole lot. I did a few things around the house, but I started feeling the dread bear back down on me. It was tiring, and I would watch a show on television, and then I would sleep a little bit, and I would watch another show on TV, and then I would sleep a little bit. But I started feeling a little bit more wound up, not as sad, but almost like I was just ready to snap, and I was just ready to lose my cool at the least little thing. And you feel wound up so tight, it's hard to even figure out a place to start unwinding. And that was part of my problem. I couldn't really put a finger on any cause or any particular trigger. It was just, I was wound tight, I was scatterbrained, I was tired, and I just didn't feel like anything was right. Everything was off kilter, and I was just ready to snap. Then, Saturday going into Sunday I woke up and I was just exhausted. After all the sleeping I did Saturday, my body was just exhausted, and I could not keep myself awake. I got up, and again, I sat in the chair, I watched some TV, and I would fall asleep for a couple hours. And I'd watch something else, and I'd fall asleep for a couple hours. And then Sundays, and maybe you guys have a particular day that is not your favorite day of the week. For me, it is Sunday. Sunday to me always has had a sad connotation to it. I don't know why. I can't really put my finger on any specific instance that has happened on a Sunday that has made me feel this way, except that, when I was a kid, Sunday ended the weekend and you'd have to get ready to go back to school. And, for a lot of folks, Sunday ends the weekend and you have to go back to work on Monday. And for me, Sunday just always seemed like an end. It was the last of something. And then you had to go back and face this new thing that was uncertain and unsure. And you just kind of didn't want Sunday to come because you knew that meant that something was ending. And that's kind of how it is with me. So going into the weekend, it started off, I was down, but I went to the show on Friday night and got lifted up and felt better. But then almost immediately Saturday morning, when I woke up, I was back down low again. And so when Sunday evening started rolling around, the sun started going down, I felt even that much worse. All the sleeping, everything that I did over the weekend just couldn't seem to pull me out of it. I was grouchy. I didn't want to do anything at all. I had slept most of the weekend away, and I didn't have to work this weekend. So you think, man, you got 3 days off. You should have been happy. And I was telling myself this in my head. I was like, Saturday, I was like, you don't have to work tomorrow. You don't have to work today. You can do whatever you like. And still, I was not happy. I felt dead inside. I felt like just a walking zombie. And as Sunday went into the evening, you feel that ending and then you feel guilty. And here comes the guilt. Now I'm guilty because I've wasted my weekend feeling bad and sleeping, and now it's over and you can't get it back. So, Sunday night was not a good night. I had to take an anxiety pill because I started feeling anxious about going to work on Monday. I started feeling, that sadness combined with the guilt, which equals worthlessness. You feel worthless. You feel like, great, here's another thing I messed up. I can't even be happy right. I can't even be off work right. I can't have a day off and do what you're supposed to do. And I wanted to share this with you guys. I'm slowly coming out of it. I'm not there yet, but at least I'm not as bad as I was. But I wanted to share this with you guys because I know you guys out there can relate to this. I know that there are times when you feel worthless and you feel like you haven't been able to do anything right, and you feel like you've wasted time. You feel like, there's nothing that you can do that makes a difference, or nothing that you can do that makes anything any better. And I know there's times when you do feel worthless and you just feel that guilt of, I didn't do this right, or I should have been better at this. And like with me this weekend, it's not going to bring those days back. And you can't, like a lot of people with depression tend to do, you can't dwell on what's behind you. You have to try to stay in the moment so you can move forward. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm enjoying the memories of the show I went to, and I'm trying to stay here in the moment instead of going back to Saturday or Sunday when I was sleeping and sad and feeling guilty and feeling worthless. Because here's the thing. what my body needed and what my mind needed at that time was that rest. I needed to be able to close my eyes and rest. I needed to be able to gather my thoughts, to process everything, to get to where I'm at right now, which is on the upswing, looking forward and in the moment. If I had not taken that time to do that on Saturday or Sunday, and I maybe tried to do a little too much, I may not feel as good today as I do, because maybe I would have prolonged that need to sleep and process. I got to work Monday fine. I worked the whole shift. I did okay. So there was no residual effect from it, except that I feel like instead of feeling guilty and worthless for sleeping and resting, I should give myself a little bit of credit for doing what my body told me it needed. So when you're feeling worthless, when you're feeling guilty for resting or for staying in bed or for sleeping a lot, just know that it's sometimes you need that. I mean, it's not good to do it every day, all the time, but there are times when that's just what your body needs. And you have to be able to give yourself a break and not feel guilty about it or feel worthless. If you love somebody with depression and you see them sleeping or just meditating or just laying around, take that into consideration. It could be something that they need to get back in the swing of things, to get back into a good position to move forward. It's not always that easy to kind of pull yourself out. Sometimes it takes a couple of days. Sometimes it takes longer. But as we ride this little roller coaster of emotions and feelings, you're gonna find that your body will tell you what it needs from you. And you're wise to listen a lot of the time. So today, yesterday, if you slept, good. If you went to work and had a great day, good. The main thing is you're taking care of yourself. You're listening to what your body's telling you. And that's very important, because that means you care enough about yourself to listen. Nobody wants to feel the way we feel a lot of the time. So it's really, really important to take care and listen to yourself. Listen to your body, listen to what your head's telling you, and try to do what you feel like you need to do to get yourself in a better place. And don't feel guilty doing it. Because a lot of times we bash ourselves because we didn't accomplish this or that. It's good to set goals. It's good to have things you want to accomplish, but sometimes just being able to get through the day is a big accomplishment. And so if you've made it through the day and you're ready to take on the next one, you've accomplished. So no matter what, take care of yourself. Be nice to yourself. Listen to your body and try to make sure that you're trying to do the best you can to get yourself in a better place. Remember, it matters that you're okay. It matters that you feel better than you did. It matters to me that you feel like you're not alone, because you're not. You matter. And I want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. For those of you, if this is the first video of mine that you've seen, sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained again today. As I've talked about before, that's part of having depression. Sometimes you repeat yourself, sometimes you forget what you were saying and you go off on another tangent, but we eventually make it back to the same purpose, which is you matter and you're not alone. And if it is your first time seeing the video or seeing one of my videos, please subscribe. It helps me a lot. That way, you can see all my videos, and if you see the bell down there by the subscribe button, hit it. That means you'll get notifications when I put out videos in the future. You'll be the first to see them. You'll know when they're there. And like the video if you enjoyed this one. There's a few more videos in my channel. Feel free, if you haven't watched them, go ahead and watch them all, because I talk about things like this. And hopefully, if you suffer from depression, you'll know that you've got a friend sitting here looking back at you that wants you to be better. And if you love somebody that has depression, maybe you'll get a little insight into how their mind works and what they think, and maybe how to deal better with some of their emotions as they go through the roller coaster. That's all for today. I just want you guys to know you're going to make it. You're going to be okay. And bad days end. And good days are on the way. Hang in there. See you next time.